Okay.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hello, friends. We're
Queen is
back.
back.
It's been a minute, guys. But Mel, you killed last week's episode. I listened to it. It was amazing.
I
It's
blacked out.
perfect.
I don't even remember what I said.
No, it
I
was
was
perfect.
I was like on 100 that whole like peak week.
Yeah.
Even the week after, I feel like I was just like on 100. I even said to Ian yesterday because he's like, "Fuck, my body's so sore and I'm so tired." I'm like, I feel
Yeah.
like our nervous systems have just been like gone through the ringer.
For sure.
Um, but no, I'm glad that I got something up.
Yeah.
I filmed video for it. You guys don't know this yet. I filmed video and I was wearing like pajama shorts
No.
with no underwear on. And
Stop.
I kept like adjusting.
Oh
so,
no,
so I'm like,
girl.
yeah,
Thank God you like watched though, because could you imagine if you just like posted that on
I hate
YouTube?
myself. I actually hate. I was like watching back. I'm like, this is why people wear underwear. Like,
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
yeah, it's okay. It was an audio only, and I almost like wrote on the Instagram because I don't care. I'll tell you guys
Yeah.
everything. But then I was like, no, I'll just save it and tell everyone when I'm on with you.
It was amazing. Yeah. No, I listened to it. It was great.
I can't believe you
And
listened to it.
yeah, it was awesome. And remember I texted you, I was in Orlando, Mel was in Toronto, and where am I going with this? I texted you and I was like, so many people came up to me and they were like, I love your guys' podcast. I did like a live Q&A and people like kept talking about the podcast and it was like, I know you said you experienced that because you went to like Fuad's thing and
Mm-hmm.
people were coming up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was just so cool. I'm like, me and Mel just like shoot the shit, but people love it. They're like, we feel like we're in the room with you. And that's like what we wanted, you know? Like
Yeah.
even for this episode, you guys, like I haven't really talked to Mel. Mel hasn't talked to me. We don't even know what we're recording, but we just want to like casual conversation. And that's what we want the pod to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like deeper than a caption you're reading, and people
For
get to
sure.
hear it in our voices. And I mean, all we're really doing at this point is literally catching up. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's going to be different when we're together because we'll probably see each other every day. So then we'll have
Yeah.
nothing to talk about. But I mean,
We'll
we'll
be like,
always have something to talk
yeah.
about.
So, okay, recap me.
No,
So,
you recap me.
okay, I'll give you a quick recap.
You've been around the world like since I've talked to you. Well, I spoke
Yeah.
to you, but I was just talking to you about myself. I didn't even really get a chance to hear about what's going on with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's been a lot going on in our life. We're moving. So, Mel and Ian actually have a house in the United States as well. So, we've been moving stuff to Mel and Ian's house. We're not moving in with Mel and Ian. We are moving into a different house, but that house is not going to be ready until like fall. So we have
I knew
stuff.
the date was going to change.
Yeah. Nah, it's going to be
Ian
like
was like,
September.
so
Yeah.
what's going to happen? Like, are we all going to live in our house in Florida is not big. It's pretty small. He's
No.
like, are we all going to live in the house? And I was like, yeah, only until August. And then he was
No,
like,
I'll talk to you about
really?
I'll talk I'll talk to you about that after the podcast because
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I'll talk to you about don't worry because the boys will be prepping for the Olympia. We can't have like 4 dogs, 2 crazy men. Me and Mel can like work together like in the kitchen, like she goes, I go, like we respect space and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
it would just be too much. So, I'll talk to you about that after. Don't worry, it's not going to be until the Olympia because yeah, listen, if it was like a month or something, sure, but it's not. So, Christopher and I are in a transition phase because we are going pretty much to be moving, but we're going to be like renting Airbnb for a little bit until we actually move. But our current house has a ton of, I don't want to say a ton of issues, but there were like there was long story short, we had like a bug problem that needed the house to get pretty much like fumigated, which is like poisoned and it needs to kill a lot of these
I,
bugs.
unfortunately, very
It's
common in Florida.
Yeah, it's really common, which
Hmm.
I didn't realize before moving here. Like being from the Midwest and like you being from Canada,
Yeah.
you don't realize like how much the winter kills things. Like things can't survive, right? Where Florida, it's warm year round. So there's bugs, there's rats, there's like crabs in my garage. I'm living in a zoo, literally a zoo.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. Oh my gosh. Like, love animals, but no, not in my house. So, we've been moving stuff out. Christopher also has a gym, like a warehouse space. And he announced it on his YouTube. So, I'm not telling the podcast anything that's not announced
No.
yet. But yeah, we're like, he'll be training for the Olympia. Ian, just kind of, it's more private vibes. And so we're putting a ton of stuff there too, like our mattress, like it's just, yeah. So that's been happening. And in between that, we went to Italy, which at the beginning of the trip, excuse me, it was a work trip for Christopher. He like did a seminar and a meet and greet type thing in Rome. And then we kind of got to enjoy Italy. But during Italy, I don't want to say it was hard to relax, but I think because we have like so much going on here, sometimes it's hard to go somewhere and relax knowing like you have to, like when we were gone, someone bought our house, but then the deal fell through and then we were dealing with like all of the bug things that was happening. Christopher also hasn't been feeling that well. So it's it's just been like a lot, but the trip was amazing. Italy was phenomenal. It was. And it was good to like disconnect with
Hmm.
him
Hmm.
to kind of like reconnect, because
Yeah.
life can get like crazy and busy. And like you see like these trips, like, Dubai and India and here and there, but like we don't really get to spend a lot of quality one on one time together because it's usually
Yeah.
like business, work, other people are there. So yeah, I mean, but Italy was great. We went to a few different parts. I went to southern Italy like 5 years ago, and then we went this year too, but it's become so touristy,
Yeah.
so many people, and
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever go back. It was
Hmm.
beautiful. Loved it.
Hmm.
Like I love like Lake Como, Tuscany area, which is more like just it's not as packed. It's not
Yeah.
as like, because you see like Instagram, and I feel like it's Instagram and like people have made it a very hot place to travel to, like the
Hmm.
Amalfi Coast. And
Yeah.
it's just people like walking on top of people, and it's like really overpriced. And yeah, I don't think I'd ever go back. Christopher said the same thing. It was fun. It was for sure fun. And if you went with like a group of people, like if we went with you guys, because I feel like that area is more like, I don't want to say party, but like you go out, you have drinks. Where like Tuscany and Lake Como was more like relaxing. Like you don't really do that there. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, but other than that, it was a great time. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to have some structure again in our lives, even though we're kind of like don't have a home. It's okay. We're just making do with it all. So,
So all your stuff is out of your house now, and it's gonna stay out, obviously, and then it's gonna go back
yeah.
on the market, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So, that's good.
yeah, that's great. And
Yeah.
then you went to Orlando for the Raw
Oh, yeah.
2K3 or 2K2, I don't even know, 2K23?
Yeah.
Whatever.
2K23, some whatever.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know the name.
Everything
Yeah.
everything is branded like so trendy. And
I
I'm like,
know.
okay, I'm now like old and I no longer
I am
know
too.
what's cool.
I don't either. It's fine. I know. So yeah, we came back from Italy, and then like a day and a half later we had to leave to go to Orlando because there was a Raw event in
Hmm.
Orlando,
Hmm.
which was great. It was like a little 2-day thing, 3 days. And that was fun. It was like a live Q&A. Christopher kind of like emceed the event, which was cool. He was like up
Aw.
there. Yeah, it was cute. He did so
Aw.
good. Yeah, it was really good. But then we came back from Orlando, And now we've been just chilling in good old Florida, Stewart, the town we live in.
So now are you guys there until the Olympia, or is there more travel planned? There's more.
So next this upcoming weekend he's going to Jersey. He's doing an event with
I knew
Hani,
this.
his
Yes.
coach. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because Dad was gonna go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I have to go get our baby, Melissa's niece. I know.
You've been separated from her for so long.
It's been like 2 months. And like, honestly, leaving her with my mom, like my mom is divorced. She has no one in her house. Like she's obsessed. Like it's my mom's like best friend. It's just her and Poppy. So she loves it. And I know Poppy's getting like the ultimate spoiled care. Like I get constant videos, pictures, we FaceTime. My mom took her to get her nails trimmed, which she had like an anxiety freak out attack the other day, and she's like sending me pictures, but it was good. But I need to, I miss my dog, you know. I need.
So are you going to Chicago with him, or you're going to Chicago while he's in Jersey?
No. So I'm going to go to Jersey with him for like the 2 days, like Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday he's coming back to Florida. Yeah. I'm going to Chicago, seeing my fam for a bit, getting Wud, and then coming back to Florida. Okay, now wait. When are you coming back to Florida?
On Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Like for sure. Okay, so I'm not going to be here when you get here. But yay. You guys, I have not seen Melissa in 6 months since December, January.
Since Christmas, yeah.
Literally. That's been 6 months, right? That's 6 months. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, we booked our flights yesterday.
Yay. Okay, amazing. Good.
Yeah, so now it's like, I mean, we have to buy a mattress and we have to like figure out, you know, sleeping arrangements. And I think we're flying with the 2 Frenchies, and then Mark is going to fly with the 3rd dog like a week later.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
What airline are you flying?
United. I know. It'll be fine.
It will be fine. It will be fine. I sometimes can't with United, but like just make sure the dogs are in there, like zipped up, because
I know. Listen, we're flying. We're flying first class. So if they give me a hard time, I'm gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
you guys, this is money. You guys, this is kind of messed up. But sometimes Poppy, because I fly with her a lot, sometimes when it's hot, like in the summer, and the plane has been sitting on like the terminal, or not terminal, whatever,
tarmac.
Yeah, there you go. For a little bit, it gets hot. It gets really hot. Yes. So sometimes I bring Poppy on in her carrier, and she starts like panting really heavy. Like she's like, it's hot. She's in a little confined space, and she's not good. So I unzip it. Like I unzip the top, because I'm not trying to have our dog suffocate in this carrier. So it just really depends what I fly. But if I need like more leg room, or I have extra shit and I want to fly business or first class, they never say anything to me. If I fly economy, which I do a lot with Poppy, she's used to it. It's fine. She fits. And depending on the airline and the flight attendant, and I get the regulations and the rules. But if my dog is like about to pass out or like stop breathing, which French bulldogs already have breathing problems, like, I'm sorry, you can arrest me when I get off the plane. I'm taking my dog out. I don't care. I do not care. I don't.
This is the thing. I understand if like you're in economy and the person beside you is like deathly terrified of dogs. I totally get it. But 1000%. we're taking responsibility by purchasing more expensive tickets, because we know that like listen, it's the same thing. If Doug or B gets hot, I'm going to let them poke their head out. I don't care.
Yeah, no,
And
yes,
honest,
yes.
I've never had any issues, but you have. And I think some flight
Mhm.
attendants are just a bit like strict on rules and they don't really give at all. So listen, we're flying first class. It's just going to be the two of us sitting beside each other. I don't
Right,
really see there's going to be, and they're like such short flights. I think each flight is like 2 hours or something.
right,
Like
right,
it'll be fine. But
for
it's
sure.
always, it's tricky, like with dogs and stuff. Like even
I
with Ian,
know.
and I was like, should we drive? And he was like, well, all our cars are in Florida. Like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, literally all your cars are here.
I'm like,
One's in the
okay.
garage. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So no, it'll be fine. I know I can like
It will.
feel it will
It
be
will.
fine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it will. And honestly, most flight attendants are amazing with dogs. And if you're a flight attendant and you're listening, like I love you guys. You are great. But sometimes when if like and this hasn't happened a lot. If Poppy is hot, I've only gotten yelled at like twice. But I'm sorry. I'm not going to like risk my dog like not stop like her not breathing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Mhm.
I won't, you know.
Mhm.
Granted, yes, if someone next to me is highly allergic or so terrified, I get it. I will move or I will just get off the flight. But
Mhm.
yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be and first class is only 2 seats anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
be perfect. You know, so if they
Mhm.
need to pop out, it's literally like in front of you or in front of your husband. It's not like you have someone else next to you, you know?
Yeah.
So,
They're and like I don't know. It's like Poppy. Like I feel like they've flown so many times. Like it's like I don't know. They just
they're fine.
chill. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fine. Frenchie's kind
So
of just curl in a little ball and sit there
sleep.
and sleep. Yeah, they're like
The
cats.
Yeah, they're lazy, sleeping, snoring things.
Potatoes.
Yeah,
Yes.
potatoes.
Little potatoes. Okay, Mel, so tell me about I'm so happy you're coming back. I'm low key sad I'm not going to be here when you get here, but yeah, so happy.
I mean, you'll be. What's that sound?
Can wait, hold on. Can you wait? Can we pause? Wait, can we pause this for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. We're back. I had to take an intermission. Sorry,
Courtney had to take
guys.
a phone call. She's so important.
No, it was just something for Melissa's house because, you know, Christopher and I are just like living in
Squatters.
it. Yeah, pretty much.
Squatting.
Okay, Mel. So recap the people about the show weekend.
Oh.
So
Oh.
I was watching from the phone. It was amazing. He won, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he did so well.
Yeah.
He he was very focused going into
Mm-hmm.
it. I could tell
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. Ian is pretty normal as he gets
Yeah.
close to a show. He's still affectionate. He still wants to have sex. Like
Right.
he's super emotionally intuitive still. That's just who he normally is, no matter what stage in prep.
Mm-hmm.
Now this prep was a little different. He actually had to like push really hard to get in shape. So Ian was doing like 90 minutes of cardio a day. He was eating I think 2500 calories a day, like very intense.
Mm-hmm.
Um and there was a huge shift in his demeanor. He was very hyper.
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost seemed like he was on like Adderall or something and he wasn't. Um and he couldn't relax and he was very self-involved, I'll say. All he could think about and talk about was the show, was looking his best, whatever, which honestly, it was an adjustment for me because I'm not used to that. But I was
Mm-hmm.
also very happy because Ian is very good at like distracting himself, for example, and not focusing on things that he's maybe nervous about. So if he's anxious or nervous, what he's going to do is he's going to try to stay busy or think about other things instead of focusing on what you need to focus on, which is even if you're scared or nervous, it's the show.
For sure.
You have to put all your focus and energy into that.
Yeah.
So I was happy. I was like, this is a good sign. He's like he's confident enough that he is willing and able to put all his energy and attention and focus into this thing. He's not scared of it. He's attacking it. So I was really, really happy. As I started to get probably more anxious myself and less emotionally attuned to, I started to kind of get a bit hurt, sad. I would be like, oh my God, like my husband is so affectionate. I can't even explain to people.
Yeah, he's like super goofy, always comes and like grabs Mel and kisses her and like bubs and like tickles you and like he like is a lover.
Yes,
He's a lover.
yes.
He's a little
Like,
yeah.
It's 2:00 in the afternoon and I'm pretty sure he's already told me 5 times that I'm the prettiest girl he's ever seen in the world. Like, this is just who he is. So when that goes to 0, I'm like, oh my God, no one's telling me how pretty I am, which is so weird because.
Well, yeah, I totally get it, Mel, but you're also like not used to the change, right? Because Ian, because a lot of people, you guys, when they get close to a show, they lose sex drive. They lose that like that mental capacity to like hold space for someone, to be mentally attuned and like really dialed in. So now that you were always used to this and he's competed professionally for a long time, and now that it's gone, this time it's like, of course you're going to feel hurt. Yeah. Without,
And logical Mel was like, it's a show. It's good. He's focused. And then illogical emotional Mel was like, well, he's very emotionally attuned normally. So he knows that I'm feeling neglected and he's just ignoring it. And that's not okay with me.
Yeah.
And instead of speaking up, I just kind of shut up because I was like, we're a week out. I'm not going to say anything. And at one point it came out in the wrong way where I was like, well, you haven't even noticed that I've been stressed and anxious for the last 3 days. And honestly, that really hurt his feelings because he was like, no, I haven't. And I feel awful because I pride myself in being a very emotionally attuned husband.
Yeah.
But after that happened, I kind of was like, okay, this is actually just him being focused for a show. There's no need for me to take this personally. And I was kind of able to, I don't know, pull my pants up and just figure it out. But I mean, I don't know. It's always hard. I always have a really hard time. And I think it's just because I'm so spoiled. And I think I pride myself in being such an independent person, but I'm actually quite emotionally dependent on my husband.
Yeah.
And
wow. I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Well, I haven't really ever thought about it until this happened. I think I grew up very emotionally self-sufficient, not necessarily by choice. That's just how I turned out. Okay. It's if I was upset, I would go in my room, I would close the door, I would put in headphones and I would handle it and like try to get over it. As I got older, I would get in my car, I'd drive to the gym and I'd train. And then like, that's just how I handled things. Right. So I think over the last 10 years, me being with Ian and having someone that really cares about how I'm feeling enough to pull it out of me and to work through it with me, I've changed. And I haven't really thought about that because I just always have him. Right. But and when I say I'm emotionally dependent on him, it's in a good way. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like,
no.
I would never annoy him with this. I would never make him I don't rely on him to regulate my emotions, but there are a lot of things that he brings to me on a consistent daily basis that make me feel good. And when they're not there, it's like, oh my God, shit.
Yeah.
A lot of my happiness comes from how this man treats me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was kind of like interesting. And I probably put a lot more on him than I should have, especially when he was 2 days out from a show.
It's so hard because it's like you want to speak your truth and you don't want to hold in so it doesn't turn into like resentment and then a fight after because you're not being heard. But then you're also in this really tough position because it's like he's about to step on stage, which is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of like, takes a lot of mental capacity to kind of like dial yourself in. So I could see why you were put in. It would be tough. It would be tough.
And I called you. I called Courtney and I was like, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should swallow this and wait till after. I don't know if I should talk to him.
But the thing that we kind of talked about is you not Mel, like you said in your last episode, you wear like your emotions pretty hard on your sleeve. Like you can tell when Mel is like so happy, if she's hurt, if she's sad, if she's a little pissed, like shoot, it's very expressed. It's like right there. There's no like where me, I can be so, which is kind of wrong. I can be like upset, but I can like put on a smile and be like, ah, which is not good either. Yeah, it's just different. But you are like, it's very, yeah, it's very like straight up. Like your emotions are very, it's right there. So we were talking and I'm like, if this is going to take you out of the present moment with him, and like if you're not going to be able to show up as, obviously you would still be a supportive wife and all the things, like you can like, you know, I don't want to say turn it on, but you can still do what you need to do to support your husband. But I just didn't want you to be like sad after and upset and hurt, or, you know, I don't, do you feel like talking to him before the show was the right thing? Looking
Yeah,
back.
no,
You do.
for
Okay,
sure.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
he told me, he was like, because I said to him, I'm like, I'm struggling. I don't know whether I should talk to you about this or not. And he looked at me and he was like, I don't ever want you. I could be like about to walk onto the Olympia stage. He's like, I don't ever want you to swallow anything with me ever. He's like, my
Yeah.
priority is always going to be
Oh.
you. So just tell me.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
trust that I can handle this and that I can still do my job. And like, it wasn't even a question for him. So like now moving forward, I do know I probably shouldn't even question whether to bring it up or not, because he literally was like, there's no moment ever in time where I would want you to swallow how you're feeling, especially if I am the one that's contributing to that and you not
Yes.
talk to me about it. I would never
Yes.
want you to do that. And
Yeah.
he's never a man that would be like, how dare you bring this up when I'm 2 days out? Like he would never do that. So
Ian's like not a selfish person, you know? Like I get they have to kind of be not self-absorbed, but like when
it's just
they're focusing on their
focused.
when
Yeah.
they're focusing on their thing for sure. But
Mhm.
he, like the fact that he is like, you know, he wouldn't get mad at you for that. Like I feel like a
Mm-mm.
selfish person is like, it's about me. Why would you even think of bringing that up? But he's like, of course I want you to bring it up. Because it's
Yeah,
not his
maybe.
character. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's also like the dynamic between two people, right? Because if I was someone that was constantly like, I feel badly, make me feel better. I'm sad, make me feel better. Maybe there would be a bit more of like a resentful reaction if I were to bring
Yes.
something up. But over
Sure.
the last 10 years, he knows who I am as a woman. I'm not going to have this huge serious conversation or ask him for help unless I actually need it. I
Yeah.
don't like when people rely on other people for their happiness or for anything, really. Like
Yeah.
I don't want him to feel responsible to that extent to my well-being. So I think it's like both people. It's the person that's receiving it and the person that's giving it, but the dynamic is of our relationship is hyper communicating, but not to a point of like you have to fix me, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because I agree. I agree that he's not like responsible for your happiness, but as a partner, there is a sense of responsibility, not to like make you happy or like regulate, excuse me, you completely, but to an extent, right? Do you think like
Oh my God,
to an
100%.
yeah, right? Like to
I
hear
would
you,
say
hold space.
I would say if you're with someone that doesn't want to take any responsibility for your feelings or for your happiness or for your life, that's a huge red flag.
I agree.
Because if
I
you
agree.
love someone, you want them to be happy, and it's a privilege that you have their feelings and that you can contribute to their well-being. Like that's a gift. So I would say a lot of time, like that's kind of I mean, for me, it was in my past relationship, it was almost like a manipulation tactic. If I ever was saying anything, well, I can't make you feel anything. I can't make you feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Only
I'm like,
you can make yourself feel that way. Yeah.
why am
Yeah.
I with you then if you can't
Yeah.
make me feel anything? Like this
Yeah.
love is about feelings. Let's be
Mhm.
serious. So yeah, you're right. There's a balance. It's
Yeah.
kind of, it's probably different for everybody too, you know?
For sure. For sure. For sure. So you bring this
so,
up.
Yeah.
It's
whatever
good.
we did what we needed to do. He competed on Sunday morning,
Hmm.
and I watched from the audience. Well, actually, I was on the floor.
What do you mean on the floor?
So we had seats on in the first row.
Okay.
And we're in the first row, and then obviously at the very front there's press and there's the judges, and it's kind
Yeah.
of walled off. And it's carpet, and we're sitting, and all of a sudden he's about to come on, and I look at my mom. I'm sitting with my in-laws, my mom, my dad,
Hmm.
Simon, Mark,
Yeah.
like all those people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to sit on the floor. So I like jumped on the floor, and I'm like sitting on my knees on the floor, probably 5 feet from the stage. I don't even remember. I just screamed.
Blacked
I
out. Yeah.
blacked out totally. And I feel like people were probably like, who is this crazy bitch on the floor screaming? I'm just like, my voice was so gone by the end of it.
God.
And then at the end, I'm like, could you hear me? And he was like, no.
I know. I know. Yeah. Because that's how it is at the Olympia too. Like we
Yeah.
scream so loud. I'm like, this is probably like
So loud.
videos. Yeah. And I can't believe he couldn't even hear you though.
No,
Because you can scream loud.
I know. I was trying to. Listen,
Yeah.
he said he couldn't hear me. I'm like, well, then how come you were responding to my cues? Like when I scream glutes, you're flexing your glutes. So like, and he's like, well, I
You
could hear
did.
something. I'm like, okay, whatever, babe. But I was honestly very nervous when they came out individually,
Mhm.
because Hassan, the guy that came second, is fucking huge. Like I can't
Yeah.
even explain to you his like
Yeah.
chest and everything. And plus like there was the screen, and then there was the stage. So I was kind of going back and forth. And on the screen, everyone looked like they were out of shape. Everyone just
Yeah.
kind of looked like there was no detail.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, oh, fuck. But then I started just looking at the stage. And when they lined up together, there was like a significant difference in conditioning. And
For
plus,
sure.
Hassan's really big, but he doesn't really have any shape. He's like short and big, but his waist is big too. And it just
Yeah.
wasn't like translating.
Yeah.
So I was pretty confident that Ian had won, but I was also still very nervous.
Yeah.
And then the night show, I got to be backstage.
Oh, yay.
Ian like sweet talked some lady that was like watching the door, and she was like, okay, honey, I'm just gonna do it because you keep trying. And she like turned her eye, and she was like, go. And I like ran backstage.
Oh
and
my God, so cute.
I watched
So
the whole
cute.
thing from back there. And the guy that had the scores. He was
Mhm.
standing there, and he was like, why do you look so nervous? I'm like, because they're calling placings. And he was like, well, do you want to know? And I was like, kind of. Can you tell me so I don't have to be so anxious? He's like, you have nothing to be nervous for, honey. And then I was like,
Oh,
and then
the
I
best.
got to watch them calling the names, and I was just like so happy for him. And then
Yeah.
we all went out to celebrate after. There was like, I think there was like 25 people. We went to an
wow.
Italian restaurant, and I was so drunk. I mean, I was drunk, I feel like, before we even got there.
On wine or on your typical Diet Coke and vodka?
No, I've honestly only been drinking margaritas. I feel like I haven't.
What?
Yeah, I haven't had anything but tequila for, oh my God, months. I haven't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love a good skinny marg though. It's
That's all I've been
so
drinking.
good.
So it was really, really fun. And then we drove my mom home on Monday. We drove back here, and we just kind of chilled for the week.
Yeah.
And we hadn't really been alone. You're never alone when you're
Yeah.
competing. Like there's
No.
always, videographer, parents,
Yeah.
coaches
It's a
if they're
lot.
there. It's a lot.
Yeah. Friends,
So-
everyone's like in and out of the room. You don't have like really a moment. And then like when they're sleeping, it's like you guys are sleeping. Like you're not like having deep conversations a few days out from a show, right? Like in
No.
bed. No, it just
No,
doesn't happen.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So we went out to dinner on Thursday, and we both left our phones at home. And we just, yeah. It's
I
funny.
love that.
It's funny because that's pretty common for me, to be honest. It's not really that big of a deal for me.
Yeah.
But I was leaving my phone, and Ian like went to pick up his wallet and his phone, and then he was like, fuck it, I don't need this. And he dropped his phone. I'm like, well, I'm not bringing mine either. He was like, great. And I'm like, what if something happens to us? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what if we get a flat tire? He was like, you're
Aw.
crazy. We'll be fine. So we went to dinner and we'd had 0 phones.
Nothing.
It was it
Oh,
was kind of nice.
that's so nice. That's so nice. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And now we're
And
just living normal life and planning our trip back to Florida, and it's feels kind of crazy, you know?
yeah. Are you excited to come back? Are you ready?
I'm very excited. I don't know if I'm ready, to be honest.
Really?
I felt like I was so ready. And then as soon as he started saying, well, do you want to go this day? Do you want to go that day? I started to be like, no, that's too soon. No, that's too soon. And I
Mm.
think it's just because we've been seeing our parents a lot. I've been spending a lot of time with Leah and her new son.
Yeah.
And like I've seen Ashley, and honestly, I haven't really seen Heather. So I don't know. I'm ready, but I also, every time you leave anywhere, it's like you're leaving something behind. Like, yes, you're going
Yeah.
to something, but it was the same when we left Florida. I was kind of like, okay, it's such a weird feeling.
Yeah. And I'm sure like this is like hard for you too because your home base is Canada, right? Like your home is in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
like your house, like your
Mm-hmm.
family, your friends, but then you have
Mm-hmm.
like your brother, me,
Mm-hmm.
other things, business stuff,
Mm-hmm.
a different environment
Mm-hmm.
here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like are you guys going to get I guess clear on this trip on where you want to be, where you want to end up? Do you like living like half the year in Canada, half the year here? Are you confused?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot too for Ian. I think Ian really values family. He values authenticity. He values simple living. He values slow lifestyle, time spent. As he's really been, probably for the last 6 weeks, like anti social media. He's doing his job still, but
For
he's
sure, for
not,
sure.
that's not something that he wants. And I think he's kind of realizing, I don't know, things are different. Like
Yeah.
it's a different lifestyle in Florida. Everyone's hustling, everyone's working, everyone's making a lot of money, and that's fantastic. That's not his priority in life.
Mm,
So when he's thinking about having a family and doing all these things, it's definitely not in Florida. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough because right now
Yeah.
he's obviously bodybuilding and his coach lives in Florida. There's a lot, honestly, in terms of medical care and therapies, it's a lot
Yeah.
better in the States. If he
Yeah.
wants to go get an MRI and check out his tricep or check out his chest, he can do that. In Ottawa or Canada, you can't do that.
Yeah. There's
So
a yeah, just different, right? Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, so we're just coming back for now, and we'll live out our lease,
Yeah.
which honestly it's already half done. So we'll just figure it out.
And I
Mhm.
think honestly, coming back, him prepping for the Olympia,
Mhm.
being around, his coach, different gyms, medical stuff, if he wants to go get a stem cell, if he wants to go get an
Yes.
MRI, if all these different like modalities that will
Mhm.
probably help him in prep. Like he
Mhm.
can obviously prep anywhere. He prepped for a show and won in Canada,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah.
1,000%. Um, but I understand it being different. I don't think it's wrong to like come back, finish your lease out, just see where you're at. And then, hey, like if it's like, hey, we want to be here, maybe things change, great. If not, then it's like, cool, you pack up your cars and you go back. Like, I mean, I'll
Yeah,
make the drive with you again. I did it with you once.
I
Me and Mel
know.
drove from
It
the
wasn't
US to Canada. It wasn't
that
that
wasn't
bad.
even that bad.
With 4 dogs, you guys.
With
4
4 dogs.
dogs.
And did we do it in 2 days or 3? 2.
We did it in 2 and I prolonged trips. Like I was like stopping, Mel, I gotta pee. Mel's like, Court, you're done drinking coffee and like you need to like limit the water. We're going. And I was like, okay, okay. So because you know, when you drink like all these coffees and all this water, I'm like peeing every freaking 45 minutes. And she's like, we gotta
She
make
she
some time. Yeah,
she
I do.
was trying to stop every hour. She was literally
Yeah.
trying to stop every hour. So
Yeah.
I think it was like what maybe it was the second day. Because that first day, oh my God, we drove so late and I can't drive. I'm a very good driver. I can drive for 10 hours straight. But as soon as it gets past 8 p.m. and it's dark, I'm fucked. I can't.
Yeah. No, no,
So
no. We stopped in
I was,
Virginia.
yeah, I was like, we can stop every 2.5 hours and you need to be able to hold your pee. If the dogs can
You're
hold
like,
their pee, you can hold your
I
pee.
know. Oh God, that was awful. But we did it. And
Oh,
it wasn't
we
it
did.
wasn't that bad. We had the
No.
truck, so like the dogs were in the back, except Poppy. She was in the front with me because because she needs to be on the mommy. Melissa's like this fucking dog. But it was great. Good
No,
times.
it was perfect. And we got home
Yeah.
and we got the truck back in Canada and that's all we need. I also
Yeah.
I was saying to Ian, I'm like, you do know that like it's not that big a deal for me to like get on a plane and fly to Florida and stay at my brother's house. Like you don't need to feel pressure to like do this because of business or because you're there or because Christopher's there. I mean, they don't live in Australia. Like I can get on a
No.
4-hour
It's
flight and just
it's less than that, girl. Yeah. Like you can
it
easily like
yeah.
for sure.
So so that's where we're at, but whatever. I think we'll be fine and when we get back there it'll be a perfect environment for him to do the Olympia and
Yep.
he's very excited to get better. And I mean there's so many it's so cool. Like Instagram's so interesting, you know? He posted a video talking about I don't know, people are speculating that he has fucking nerve damage or something. And
Oh, I saw his video. He
I
handled
said
that
to him,
very well.
well, I said to him, I'm like, just post a video and just say what's going on because this isn't a secret.
No.
There's nothing that's happening that you can't speak to. So
Yeah.
just say, I don't know what's going on. Um, I, I can see what people are talking about and I'll look into it. And then
Yeah.
he had probably like 4 doctors reach out to him and was like, hey, like, I can help you.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a lady
See,
from I think she's from Texas. She's going to
yeah.
fly down in July and like look at him and yeah. And
Really?
there was another guy that answered and said something about like spinal I don't know and there's just so much there's so many resources
Yeah.
that
Yeah, for
you
sure.
he would never even know about if he didn't discuss it. So, and then he can
Sure.
see Marlon when he's down. That's his
Yeah.
name, right?
Yeah. 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 Dr.
Okay.
Marlin. Yeah. He's amazing. He's so good. And he'll come to your house. Like, yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm
Adjustments, body work, all that
yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
It will be the perfect environment for the prep, for everything that needs to be done. When is your lease end?
End of January, I think.
Okay. So Olympia start of November
Uh-huh.
and then holidays. And
Uh-huh.
then, so you guys will just stay through the new year or not stay here. Like, we got to figure out Christmas and all that stuff. But
I wanted to talk to you because
yeah.
you did a post on Instagram of
Mhm.
your hot bod in a bikini talking
Girl.
about your trip and how you
Yeah.
kind of were able to chill out and eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And um that's a huge thing for you.
Yeah. That was really good. Honestly, I feel like that just kind of started to happen probably when, like when we went on that trip in Mexico,
Mhm.
I was like enjoying myself there. I think I just felt like the environment was really good and I wasn't stressed and I was just like happy being around like you guys, Christopher, like it was after the 2020 Olympia, after COVID,
Mhm.
all that stuff. Ian did really well. Like that was
Mhm.
his place top 10. He got 7th, Chris won. So it was just like it was just fun. And that is kind of when I experienced like I felt my body was healthy. Like I
Mhm.
felt I was eating, I was drinking. We were at an all inclusive, just like eating whatever every night. And I was like fine.
Mhm.
And this Italy trip, I have a few things to say about this. So the quality of food in different countries, like Europe, even Mexico, I think, Europe though, like Italy, Spain, Greece, the quality of food is just so different. It is so different.
Mm-hmm.
The dairy, like wheat, gluten, stuff that I don't have, I was having with zero issues. Zero issues, nothing. And like I'm not going to lie guys, like I can allow myself stuff here and maybe it's just my mindset around like oh, Europe and the US, but like honestly the food quality in America is just it's not great. It's really not great. It just isn't. Um Depending on where you get food and a lot of things have like additives and fillers like we talked about in the gut health thing. There's just a lot
Mm-hmm.
of food with extra shit in it. Where in Europe it's not. It's like it's just so different. And again, I was in a very like relaxed, calm state. We were having fun. It was chill. And it's interesting because one night in Italy, it was like closer to like the end of the trip. Christopher and I got in like a really not a fight, but a really like vulnerable conversation that like brought up a lot of like emotions in both of us, like him feeling like a burden sometimes, not being able to share his needs and truth in a lot of relationships in his life, and then me feeling like I'm unlovable and not good enough and like just all of these things. Like he was emotional crying, I was emotional crying, and it was that conversation happened after dinner. Immediately, my fucking stomach started to hurt. So like,
Wow.
girl, I swear, and the whole trip, the whole like 9 days prior, I was eating, drinking, sugar, everything. Fine, completely fine. So then I was like, holy fuck. Like, yes, food quality is huge, but stress, you guys, if you even go into a meal and you're like, this meal is going to mess me up. I know if I have this, it's gonna fuck me up, but let me just try. You're already like setting your body up to like not receive the food at all, in my opinion. I it
Mm-hmm.
might be a little woo-woo, but I truly like right after that conversation and when like tears were let out and things and like just emotion, which is it was good, it was great, it needed to happen. But my stomach, it just like it fucking hurt. It like really bad. I got like bloated, it hurt. I just was like uncomfortable and like yeah, I'm just like wow, stress. But back to like kind of the whole point of that post. It was just kind of it was just like really enjoying life and not overthinking shit so much. Like I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really like worried about like I shouldn't eat ice cream at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Like that's bad. Like I'm gonna want sugar the rest of the day. Like I'm having all these carbs and no protein with this meal. Like what the I wasn't like overthinking shit. I was just living. And it was
Mm-hmm.
my body responded the exact same. Like perfect, better. Better than in the United States, like training, eating, like all the things. Like the same. Like it was the same. I came back. I don't I don't weigh myself a lot, but I'm like, let's just see. Cause you can tell, like you can look in the mirror and be like, oh, I definitely put on 10 pounds. Oh, I feel like I am malnourished and I'm stressed and I haven't ate and I lost X. You feel like you can just feel your body. And I'm very in tune like you with my body. So I was like,
Yeah.
I literally feel like I look the same and I just like ate my ass on for 12 days. So let me just like see. Like no training. We trained twice and exact same. Didn't like gain a single pound. I I sure I'm not working out, so I'm not like I don't feel like necessarily like I don't want to say the word tight, but like I'm not pushing like blood to my muscles. There's nothing. I just look
Yeah.
the same. I'm like, oh, wow, wild. And I just felt like free. I just felt like wow. And honestly too, another thing, I was there and I was eating stuff, but like we would get a ton of food and whatever like I didn't eat, Christopher would eat, but I didn't feel like I had to like eat everything. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense? Like
Oh
I
yeah.
went and I like ate stuff. We got a huge pizza. I would have like 2 slices, and then I tried half a dish of pasta. I didn't feel like, and you know, the pizza still had like 2 more slices, and Chris is like, "I don't want it." I would be like, "Well, we need to like eat it." Like, I didn't feel that way. I was just like, "Ah, all right, like go get some gelato app." It's just, I didn't feel like obsessive. I just was
Mhm.
like chilling. And I really feel that whole mental state just, I don't know. I haven't felt like that really ever in
And
my life.
how do you feel now that you're back? Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good. It's interesting. I had a conversation with Hati. You know her? You know, I told the
Oh,
Australian.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
like, I
didn't know
love her.
I didn't know that's how you said
Hati.
her name.
Yeah, that's how she said to say it, Hati.
Okay.
And I had a conversation with her, and she actually struggled like really bad from an eating disorder, like
Yeah.
bad. Like she was hospitalized, like early teens, excuse me, late teens, early 20s. And she found like strength training, and she trains for strength and like
Yeah.
power. And
Yeah.
she's like, to, I eat not to be small. I eat to be like strong. I eat
Yeah.
to fuel myself. I eat
Yeah.
for this, like changing the language around food, just
Mhm.
around what you put in your body. Like, I eat for
Mhm.
good skin, good hair, like a strong gut health. Like, and I'm like, wow, eating like for that instead of eating to like be as small as possible, which I definitely have done. And, you know,
Mhm.
sometimes I still think, oh my God, maybe I should like, you know, cut this. I didn't train today, I cut carbs. Like, now I'm like, I just want to eat to feel good, to have a healthy
Mhm.
metabolism, a strong thyroid, good gut health. And I'm good. I don't care if I want to, yeah, I don't know. So it was good. It was really good. I feel now just being back here, I'm mindful of single like ingredient stuff. I always am, you know, like I like
Yes.
my
Yes.
certain things, but I'm
Yes.
mindful. But yeah, I just feel good. I feel normal, I guess, which is wild.
Yeah, I find it so interesting because I feel like I used to be I don't know if I still am. I don't feel like it anymore, but very near future ago, I would used to have to eat everything, you know?
Yes.
If I was craving pizza, pasta, sandwich, cheesecake, ice cream, the night that I was going in, I had to have it all. Even if after eating the pizza, I no longer wanted anything else, I like still had to have it. And I swear to
Yeah.
God, it's from competing because
100%.
you would have a cheat meal, and you would basically eat your face off and then get back on restricted diet the next day.
Yeah.
But since I mean, since I decided to stop competing, it's so different because it's like, okay, I'll order food, and if I don't want to finish it, then I don't finish it. And that doesn't mean the next day if I want to eat something else, I can eat something else. But
Yes.
when you're in like a diet mindset and you're like, well, no, you can't have this ever. I can't do it. It makes
Yeah,
me
that's the
crazy.
word. That's the
Yeah.
word. It's when you can't have something, it makes you like want it 10 times more. But when you're
Mhm.
like, okay, I can have this pizza, this cheesecake, but like when you can have it, you're like, actually, I don't want that every
You
night.
don't
But
even want it. Yeah.
no, but if you're on
Yeah.
a diet, and I get like time and place, you guys, if you're a competitor, if you're doing your thing, if you're following a specific protocol to heal, sure. And you need to like do some elimination of some stuff. But I feel like real freedom comes when you can allow yourself the ability to have what you want, but choose differently. And not because you feel like you need to choose differently, but because you just do. Does that make sense? Kind of like you just are like, well, I just don't really care for it. Like there's no desire. It's just there. And you're like, okay, like I could have that if I want. Like the freedom of choice. You can have it if you want, but you're choosing like you don't want to because you just don't want it. I feel like that's like everything. And it's
Mhm.
hard. It's very hard to get to. I still struggle at times, you know, but
Mhm.
I that's how I felt on that trip. You know, I just was like, oh, I could have this. Oh, I could have this. Do I want this? Not right now. Maybe later. I want this. At the breakfast buffets, there was like girl, these Italians, they're carb heavy on the breakfast, okay? Like carb
Probably
heavy.
carb heavy all the time.
Fuck. Literally all the time. All the time. And there were so many things and I'm like, "Oh my god, I could eat all of this. It all looks so good." But I just picked like the top 4 or 5 and like I didn't feel like, "Oh my god, I need to go try everything else." I'm like, "No, Courtney, it will be there tomorrow if you want to try it. It's okay." Like
Yeah.
there was there was just I just it was just it felt normal. Like it's kind of weird because I feel like this is how normal people look at food.
I know.
Actually.
I
And then
know.
you get into competing, and I'm not trying to bash competing here, but it really, or dieting, or young girls just being like, I need to be small. It just really starts to fuck with you. It
Yeah.
does. And
Yeah.
it takes a while to break. Like, even Mel, even the amount of questions I had in Orlando at that event when people being like, well, if I have one bite, I just don't know how to stop because then I have to start again Monday. Like I had men and women both
Yeah.
talk about this, and I'm like, "Ugh, there's not like one thing I can say, like it's easy to like it's not easy.
Yeah,
It's
but what would you say if you were actually being honest to somebody? Like if you felt close enough to somebody to actually give them what your advice would really be.
it would be you shouldn't even be fucking dieting in the first place. If
100%.
Yes, if you're having all
100%.
of these like internal restrictions, guilt, shame, binging, this, that, I'm like, you need to just because Hati, the girl that I did the live with and everything, she is very like, if it fits your macros, I can eat what I want, but it's gonna be in these portions. And I'm like, hey, I couldn't like view my food as numbers for a long time. I had to actually intuitively eat to allow myself to like break free of like the chains of like food and numbers and control. Like I think, if it fits your macros, dieting, all of that for sure. Again, time and place, you guys. But and now I can like look at food and be like, oh, I want to eat more protein. Let's like track my protein, nothing else. Or let's like try to at least aim for 30 grams 4 times a day. Nothing really obsessive, mindful, but not obsessive. But I had to actually intuitively eat, which is not dieting at all. It's just
No.
like listening to your body,
Yeah.
like, normal cues of your body that
Yeah.
it's your body has all the answers. We just like want it to fit into this mold sometimes. And it can do you more harm. It can.
Yeah.
So would you tell someone the same thing if they were having all of these like emotions around food and not being able to control? Like, what would you tell someone?
It's really hard because I feel like there are so many reasons why people do stuff like that. But if someone would specifically say to me like I feel like I can't stop after I have a taste because I know it's going to be gone tomorrow, then 100% I would say you need to get off a restrictive diet because
100%.
I've been there, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been to the point where like I'm going to eat until I'm in pain because I know I might not get it for the next 2 weeks or until my weight drops again because I'm getting ready for a show. I've been to a point where I'm just eating my face off so I don't have to feel my feelings. Like I've been everywhere with food. And I just feel like if you need to figure out why you're being controlled by it. Is it because of your emotions? Is it because of your dieting? Is it because of your body image? Is it because I don't know, you hating yourself? Like you need to figure it out and go from there. And you need to fix that. And a lot of times people are just stuck in this like especially in bodybuilding, like I'm in a cut or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like this this is not the point of being alive. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and like once you let go of the pressure to look a certain way or weigh a certain amount or not touch anything, you really stop caring about it. Like I can't explain it.
I know I can't explain it either. And then your body just like kind of works for you. It just kind of like starts to like when it comes back to this relationship with self, like you said, Mel, like figure out where this is coming from. And like I know you kind of like spoke on this a little bit in your Q&A last week, how you had that moment of being like really depressed and you like would lay in bed, eat chocolate, not care. Like that was coming from your like internal, correct me if I'm wrong, but like your internal conflict, some depression, uh, sadness, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
was the emotion. But
Mm-hmm.
Mel had to kind of get to the root of that by, working a different job, doing different habits every day to like get herself out to then fix the cycle she was in with the
Mm-hmm.
food,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it can be challenging. I know I think to some level anyone in fitness, I don't want to make that claim. I shouldn't say everyone or anyone in the fitness industry, but disordered eating or eh, eating disorders or just this not so healthy relationship with food is very common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think anyone that's in an industry that's based a lot around how you look, because I'm sure models could say the same thing. I'm
Oh,
sure
yep.
actors could or actresses could say the same thing. I feel like
Yep.
it's just tough. And then on top of all of that with bodybuilding, there is this like it is a diet culture because you have to diet to succeed. It's not an
Yeah.
option. It's not
No.
just like, oh, I'm naturally skinny and I have a high metabolism. So no, you actually are
Yeah.
going to insane levels to get to a very low body fat percentage. And listen,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people out there, I mean, that don't have any issues with food, but even Ian the other day when we're trying to figure out where to go eat for dinner, he's like, well, I
Yeah.
can't decide. And I was like, why? He's like, I don't even know how to want food anymore. I just like eat.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's listen, that's also not normal. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's
weird.
in its own way, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's hard, guys. So if you're struggling with food or anything, usually comes from the relationship with self. But I'm not a professional. So I've never actually worked with a professional when it comes to my relationship with food. This has just been years and now stepping into it at like probably the age, like honestly, probably now fully, like right now. And I'm not even 100% there yet, but like 29, going to be 30. So
Yeah.
take
I
some
mean,
time.
I'm 32 and I still struggle, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people. I don't think it's an age thing, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. No, for
because like
sure.
I'm sure
For
there are
sure.
full grown people that are still. I know there are that still struggle with stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to go. I'm going to
Okay.
the
I love
gym.
you. Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Get it.
I
I
trained and
need to hear.
I
I'm
couldn't
like,
walk.
you told me
I
you were in the
couldn't
gym
walk.
yesterday. I'm like, is Mel training again? What's happening?
I just like I am so my upper body's still super jacked, I'm not gonna lie. But my legs are very small and my butt is very small. So I'm like, you know what? If I want to, I'm gonna go train. So
Do it.
I did like a lower body kind of glute day and I couldn't walk. Like I could
You
not
couldn't.
walk. No, yesterday was day 2 after training and Ian was doing legs and his partner was not training with him. So I'm like, I'll train with you. And I think I did like one set of squats with 25 on each side and I felt like I was going to die. I literally felt like I was going to die.
I want to train with you when you come back because we'll be at the same level. This is
No,
gonna
you're
like
going to
make
be
me feel so good.
you're going to be stronger than me.
No way.
I
You have
promise
muscle
you.
memory.
No,
What?
no. Mm-mm. Maybe if I like do it consistently for weeks, but I'm not going to. You know what I mean? So, and
Yeah.
like it's not even just that, it's the endurance. It's very
Yeah.
different. Like
Yeah.
cardio versus resistance training endurance, it's so different. I'm like
It is.
panting. I'm like whatever.
Yay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that like next time or something. We'll get
Yeah,
into another
we can talk about training and eating and
for
goals
sure.
or something. I've
Yeah.
lost 32 pounds
Since when?
since we got back from Tremblant. So that was I can't remember if Tremblant was in January or February.
It was in January. January.
No,
It was
not
in
Tremblant
January.
with you guys.
Oh, more recently.
So when did you guys go to Aspen?
end of January, beginning of February, like in
So
that.
I think it's probably like the beginning of February I weighed myself and I was 191. I was heavy, especially when I came back from Tremblant, and I weighed myself 2 days ago and I was 159.
Wow.
And when
Girl.
I was getting ready for a show in 22, I was like the leanest I had been. I was 154.
I remember because it was in Florida.
Yeah.
Right? That
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I remember. And you were like, I don't know why I can't drop anymore, but you were like shredded.
Yeah. And
wow,
I'm
girl.
nowhere lean that now. Like, so
It's different,
I've lost so much muscle. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Do you feel good though? I mean, okay, we can talk about this
We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, like I want to hear where you're at because I actually have some gym goals now. I'm not just like fucking like, what should I do? I'm like, I feel a little inspired. I got some inspiration back.
From Hottie?
Okay, well, her and all of the Raw girls. All of those girls are young. They're strong. They're passionate. I'm like, fuck, I'm over here walking on the treadmill like, shit, I don't want to.
That's going to be me because I'm like,
girl, can we train together? Can we just at least do it like one day a week?
Yeah, we can do glutes once a week.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to walk for a week, so that's okay.
That's okay. We'll do once a week. You have full recovery. I'm taking you to my lymphatic girl. I found a lymphatic drainage massage girl through a friend, and you need to go. She's going to like get you the stomach with this little machine. It's amazing.
Oh, good. I can't wait. Okay, so next week we're going to talk about gym goals and gym progress. We could probably talk a little bit about our entire experience from our beginning.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've been, I don't know, we've both been to the Olympia. Courtney won it. We've done hypertrophy. We've put on muscle. We've lost muscle, whatever. So we'll talk about that. And if you guys have any questions specifically about like training, building muscle, losing muscle, balancing body parts, growing a specific body part, put it in the comments, and then we'll address some of them next week. And then
that's perfect.
The week after I'll be in Florida and it's going to be magical.
You're going to be sitting across from me.
At Raw headquarters. Yes.
Oh my God. And that's only like 15 minutes from your house. 14.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I'll drive an hour. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yay. I love you. Okay, boo. Well, have fun at the gym.
Too. I will.
I need to tell you about the situation too. So call me like later or something. We need to like, or
I'll
another day.
I'll call you when I'm on the treadmill at the gym.
I'll just tell you about the situation.
Tell me what's going on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye,
guys.
Bye, guys.
Love you, Core. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen.